Today we'll start with Unit 5, Natural Disasters. Let's see what the communication goals, what the goals are. Let me just fix this thing. Victor, would you read the goals for this unit?
Yes. Communication goals. Cover emissions. Tell me someone about the news. Describe the natural disasters. Prepare for an emergency.
Do you have questions? What does convey mean? The first goal, convey a message. Do you know that verb?
Like a give a message.
Give a message. Any other idea? Communicate a message.
Yes,
Yes.
Second one, well, tell someone about the news. That's it. That's easy. It's just sharing some news. Describing natural disasters. This unit's name is natural disasters, so we'll be learning a lot about that. And making plans or getting ready for to face an emergency. So this is a very interesting unit. Let's get started, guys. This is the preview section. Today we'll cover the preview and the first lesson with the first part of the grammar.
Okay.
Oh, I closed it. I'm sorry. I think I closed the app. I'm reopening it. Okay. I don't know why with just an escape key the entire digital book closes. I don't know why that happens. So natural disasters. Okay. So let's start with this image. What do you guys see there? There are three images. The first one, it's all about historic disasters. The first one is this one. Would you read that text, Fernando? Fernando, are you there?
No.
Okay. Will you read that, Victor? I don't know what happened
Yes.
to Fernando.
The influenza epidemic of 1918 and 1919 left an estimate 25 million people dead worldwide.
Aha. Left an estimated 25 million people dead. Here, dead, it's not the same thing as did, Victor. We have dead, we have did, we have died. Somebody died.
Yes,
Well,
I want to
that's
say
died.
diet.
Died. We also have died, and we have death. All these are different words, so we have to be careful with their pronunciation.
Okay, it's like the same death.
Yeah, dead people. It means that they're no longer alive. They passed away. They're dead. They're no longer alive. Like zombies, maybe.
Okay.
There. And the second image. This is a cover from a magazine called World Week. U.S. edition, February 2013. The week in weather. This is the blizzard of 2013 in pictures. Apparently, there was a very strong blizzard in 2013. I don't remember. I don't remember it. And oh yeah, here's a text. In February 2013, a major blizzard hit the northeastern U.S. with heavy snowfall and high winds. Snowfall in some areas reached 100 centimeters, causing travel delays, school closures, and power outages. So that's up to a meter of snow in some areas. And the last image, will you read that text, Victor?
Between 2010 and 2012, uh, 1,600 people died
Died, uh huh.
in Somalia in one of the world's wood food was one of the
Food,
world
uh
food
huh.
shortages in the modern history.
Yes, so, shortages in modern history. So here we have three natural disasters. Uh, we'll see in the vocabulary how we call them. Here we can read world news: famine in Somalia. So this is a famine. This is an epidemic, and the other one is well a
Natural?
blizzard. Both
A
are
what?
all of them are natural. I think, and epidemics also. All of these are natural disasters. I think a man-made disaster would be like a nuclear explosion. That is man-made. Natural
Okay.
disasters they occur in nature. So discuss one or more of the topics about the content of the news. The first part says, let me make that more readable. Yeah. When stories about natural disasters such as epidemics, famines, and weather emergencies appear in the news, are you interested in knowing about them? Why or why not? Well, you're the only student right now, Victor.
Yeah.
So this question is for you. When stories about these things appear in the news, do you pay attention to them?
Mm, yes, because for example, in this
Uh
moment we
huh.
have like more stronger than the epidemic. We
Hmm.
have a pandemic.
Yeah, we
So
have a pandemic.
pandemic. So always I and my family, I try that we keep the instruction and how you say
You follow the recommendations.
the all the recommendation always, but for us health, for save us health things.
Uh huh. For staying healthy. Uh huh. So it would be something like follow the recommended guidelines to remain healthy. And number two, why do newspapers often put stories like this on the front page? Newspapers or what do they call newscasts like Hechos or I don't know the names. Maybe on the radio. Why do you think they put stories like this?
Mm, I think that it's good because
Yeah.
they the newspaper, the radio, the television have the obligation
Uh huh.
for convey a message, the first
For
points and goals,
conveying information. Uh huh.
information for
To
the
the
world,
public.
see, to the public, but for the world.
Uh huh. For the world, we wouldn't say for the world. We would say to the public.
Okay,
Or mhm. And number three, not all disasters are caused by nature. What are some other kinds of disasters? What are some of their causes? So, what can you think? What do you think are some disasters that aren't caused by nature?
like the second war
The
or the
Second World
first
War,
or the first. Okay,
or
I
just any war, right?
Yes, anywhere. Any disaster that aren't caused by nature.
Like an armed conflict, a war, or
Uh,
mostly a terrorist act.
I think that that's a, a difficult topic because uh, I think anyone anyone are agreed or are agreed with that uh, that disasters,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think that for me, in my case, I think that no is good. Is a long problem or a big problem for the economy, for the society, because
Society. What are you talking about? Armed conflicts, wars, or what is a big problem?
I
What are you
think
saying? Uh-huh.
I think the big problem is the people die.
Uh-huh.
The people die. That is the fears or the principal problem.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, a disaster in epidemics, in famines, and in weather emergencies, people die. That is the catastrophe.
Yeah.
But like poverty, maybe you can say that people die of poverty in a dying from poverty, but they don't eat as well. They're not as healthy. So even though poverty isn't their cause of death, their life expectancy or their life quality is diminished, and yeah, they end up suffering more, and they end up dying sooner. Mm, so yeah, for you that the worst part of it is that people die and suffer, I think.
Yes, I think that that's the principal problem.
Hmm.
Another problem is like economic because only always the worst hit uh, in the economy, in
Yeah, they affect the
the
economy.
mountain, affected the economy, the countries.
And what are some of their causes? Why do you think there's war? Why do you think there's this suffering and this that why are people dying? Why is that happening? Because well, we have the knowledge, and we waste a lot of food. We waste a lot of money on things that we don't need. We have cars, we have electronics, and there's people in the world who are still dying of hunger. So, what do you think are some of the causes for this disasters, Victor?
Okay, the causes. I think, for example, if in the future will or us will war and the tier war,
Third World
war,
War?
the tier world war.
Do you think that'll
Uh,
happen? Okay.
uh-huh. The causes like maybe that war can get is uh, is the principal
Uh
is the
huh.
die. The people die when they are war.
Yeah. When they are at war, the people die. Uh huh.
Yes. The the causes or the second problem uh, is the food going to be very very expensive.
Expensive. We would say there would be a scarcity of
Scarce
food,
scarcity of food. Okay.
or food would be scarce. Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. I think that the people uh, going to be scary for a long moment
Mm-hmm.
because they don't uh, go to out houses.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that is that's a problem in the society because I
In
don't want
society.
to
Uh-huh.
I don't want to out of my house because I want to because I am scary with that word. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanna save my life. I wanna keep in my house.
And protect your family.
Yeah, protect my family. I don't know. I think that is another problem. Uh, uh, and how things going to be expensive.
Uh-huh.
Going to be expensive. The housing, food, wars.
But do you think Mexico would be part of a world war? Do you think that the war would reach here, Mexico?
Yes, I think here because the how you say the money that the employees win. How you say that word?
The money that employees win?
Uh-huh.
I don't get that.
Salaries,
Uh-huh.
salaries.
Ah, yeah, their income, the salary or their salaries. Yes.
The salaries is down. Is very down for
Uh-huh.
the team. So imagine that the third war uh, phase. Uh, we depended of the economy the USA. The
Yeah.
USA is the principal country, the enemy that another country. So
Mm-hmm.
they uh, get a war with another country. The causative is very difficult for us country, because whole thing going to be expensive. We going to get another I don't know, another situation, another uh, how you say that word, another structure, another
Uh-huh.
for
Government structure
government
or government.
structure for us economy, because we want to interest in a country poor or in
Ah,
poor country.
wow. Well, I hope that doesn't happen, Victor. But that was interesting. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Uh, so here we have a photo story, and let me make this a little bit better sized. This isn't working. Here. What do you think is going on in this conversation, Victor?
Mm, I can see in the laptop
Uh-huh.
that its screenshot have a cars underwater. So I think
Uh-huh.
it's a
In the
disaster.
water? That's a
Uh-huh.
disaster.
So so the girl see in the laptop a natural disaster.
Uh-huh.
That is the
The
first
first the
image.
first photo.
The second image, the girl says for him,
To
uh,
him. She says to him.
to
Or
him,
she tells him.
come on, you need to see that or this in her case. You need to see this is a natural disaster. Look,
Hmm.
what's happening. I don't know.
And in the third one,
And the third one, maybe they are discussed about that.
they're discussing about that. Okay. This when you have cars in water, just like there's a famine, an epidemic, and and a blizzard. Do you know what we call when there's too much water in a place? Do you know that word?
No, teacher.
Okay, we'll learn it. We'll learn it in this unit. So let's listen to the audio. First without the text. First without the text.
Read and listen to a conversation about a natural disaster.
Oh my goodness, take a look at this.
Why? What's going on?
There's this enormous flood in Slovakia. Look at these people on the roof. The water's up to the second floor. And look at these cars. I sure hope there was no one in them.
That sounds horrendous. Any word on casualties?
It says no reports of deaths or injuries so far, but it's in the middle of a city, for goodness sake. The death toll could end up being huge.
And can you imagine the property damage?
Well, they estimate almost 50% of the houses in town are underwater already.
What a disaster.
I wonder how this flood compares to the one they had in New Orleans a few years back. Remember that?
You bet I do. How could anyone forget? And that flooded almost half the city, too.
Let's turn on CNN. They usually have breaking news about stuff like this.
Okay, did you pick up something new, Victor? I heard a lot of
Yes,
new words. Uh-huh.
I
What did you?
I, I listened. I heard the she said that natural disaster, but no have reports of death.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
Okay, no reports of deaths.
for the moment. I don't know.
Uh-huh. What else?
Uh, I remember too that the the newspaper or the province report almost 15 or 16 houses underwater are in underwater.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember more.
Yeah, there was a lot of information here. Let's check out the text and then we'll see if you have questions regarding the vocabulary. So I'll be Rachel and you'll be Tom. Okay, we'll read the photo story. Oh my goodness! Take a look at this. You're Tom.
Hmm, okay. Why? What's going on?
There's this enormous flood in Slovakia. Look at these people on the roof. The water is up to the second floor. And look at these cars. I sure hope there was no one in them.
That's all. That's all. Horrendous. Any word or causities?
It says no reports of deaths or injuries so far, but it's in the middle of a city, for goodness sake. The death toll could end up being huge.
And can you imagine the property damage?
Well, they estimate almost 50% of the houses in town are underwater already.
What a disaster!
I wonder how this flood compares to the one they had in New Orleans a few years back. Remember that?
You be like, dude. How could anyone forget? And that flooded almost
Got
half
it?
the city too.
Let's turn on CNN. They usually have breaking news about stuff like this. So, questions regarding vocabulary, Victor?
Yes, let me see.
You can highlight it on screen.
Eh,
Highlight it
No,
and then we'll discuss
I
it.
think it's good. only the goodness for the that. Let me put the screenshot.
Uh-huh.
The line.
It's just an expression. Oh my goodness. Ah, for
For
goodness sake.
goodness sake.
Uh-huh. It's just an expression. Let me see if I can find them.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I know that what is that, but I goodness sake, goodness sake.
Uh-huh.
That is, I don't know. I never
It
never
is an
ever.
expression to express mild surprise or shock. No, but for goodness sake, it is something different. Let me see. Mm,
Yes, because the people in USA always say, "Oh goodness sake, oh my goodness, oh my goodness," always when
uh-huh.
they are surprised or they are.
So here I found for goodness sake. Let me see. For goodness sake, according to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it's used to express surprise or annoyance. Will you hurry up for goodness sake? So it is surprise or annoyance. In this case, in the story, that is it is an idiomatic expression. It is to express surprise. I think she's surprised because well, there has been no reports of deaths or injuries so far, and then she's surprised. But that happened in the middle of a city, so she even though there's no reports of deaths, she thinks that the death toll or the number of deaths could end up being a very large number. So this is an expression of surprise, Victor.
Okay, it's like saying, "God, oh my goodness."
Yeah, like oh my goodness.
Only
Yeah, yeah. Let me see in the dictionary. For my goodness, we have to express surprise. My goodness is just surprise. Goodness sake, it can be annoyance too. But my goodness, just surprise.
annoyance. When you one annoyance, another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, teacher. My internet failed.
Yeah, don't worry, Fernando. We just covered the photo story. Um, well, we already listened to it and we discussed a bit. If you have any questions regarding the text, let us know, Fernando.
Okay.
We only discussed for goodness sake. That is to express surprise. Now let's work on exercise C. You know your marks, guys. So Victor, you are the check mark, and Fernando, you are the arrow. So focus on language. Complete each statement with words or phrases from the photo story.
Okay.
I'll put some music in the meantime.
I am the Marvin.
You are the green check mark.
The
You
green.
are always the green check mark, Victor. Be right back.
Okay.
Everything okay, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that the teacher for level 2, they say always,
Meridiana.
no, Donald.
Donald. Okay.
They say always gorgeous, right? The same like the song,
Right, what?
gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Enormous, gorgeous.
How do you write?
Horrendous.
What?
These three are similar. We have gorgeous,
Yes.
enormous, and horrendous. Horrendous, enormous. The ending is
Horrendous.
similar. That sounds horrendous.
Okay.
That girl is gorgeous. That pizza is enormous.
Okay. Horrendous. Fernando, I think that word is for me.
What?
I think that the practice damage is for me.
It's
for
for
my
you.
son.
Two word
Yes.
phrase. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Because it's two words. That description wielding cards and another.
So what's the number two? Two words that mean very big are enormous and horrendous. Horrendous doesn't mean very big, does it?
Oh, gorgeous.
Remember what Rachel says. The death toll could end up being...
I can erase.
You can't?
I can erase property damage.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, thank you.
But only the mean need to for the words need are big, no positive or negative. So enormous.
Yeah, but horrendous doesn't mean big. Horrendous means horrible, terrible.
But it's very big. Very
No,
big. Horrendous.
it's very ugly. It's very horrible, but it's not big. Enormous, yeah, that's very big. Enormous, that's correct. The other one, I'd say it's huge.
Gorgeous. How do you write? Gorgeous.
Why gorgeous? Why are you thinking about gorgeous?
Because it's a word and a word good for say enormous.
No, gorgeous is.
Why no?
Gorgeous means pretty.
No. Yes, but you can say always it's big, enormous, gorgeous.
No, gorgeous doesn't mean enormous.
So what does it mean? I remember.
Gorgeous, pretty.
Oh yes. So
Gorgeous is splendidly or showily brilliant or magnificent. Magnificent, aesthetic, attractive, beautiful. The number of no, this isn't casualties. Not, I mean, this isn't the correct word, Fernando. This is casualties.
Casualties?
Uh-huh.
Number of casualties?
What is a casualty? It is a person or thing injured, lost, or destroyed. A synonym is victim. The number of victims indicates the number of people who are injured or killed in an event. So it is casualties.
Okay.
Enormous and huge is correct. A two-word phrase that means the destruction or harm to buildings, cars, and other things that belong to victims of an event is property damage. And here it's breaking news. News. Questions?
No.
Okay, so let me take a photo, a screenshot, and then we'll move on. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Where's the WhatsApp thingy? There. So let's move on, guys. Speaking. So we can complete this chart. I'll upload that to the platform. You will check your news sources and write an advantage and disadvantage for each one. Can you annotate on your computer, guys, or is it problematic right now?
I have my computer.
Okay, so I guess we can do it. So this is Tenaris physics. Let me put that in the platform, on the platform.
Now it's better here?
Yeah, but what about Zulima, Juliana, Rigor?
Yes.
So
Okay.
we'll do it here, but we also have to do it on the platform
Okay.
because of your classmates. This is Unit 5, right? 5.3. It does take a minute, but yeah, I guess I have to do it, guys. Due date. That is for next week. Okay, it's up.
We need to answer whatever.
Well, what we can do here is we can just discuss it, and you guys will do it on the platform afterwards. So
Okay.
let's see, who reads a newspaper? Do you read a newspaper, Fernando, or you, Victor?
No, a newspaper, no.
You, Victor, do you read newspapers?
Sometimes depends on the case.
Okay. if you read a newspaper, what's an advantage of reading a newspaper?
I think our news of the day.
Uh-huh. And one of the disadvantages?
Disadvantage. It's an specific news. It's a little information.
Ah,
Small
okay.
information.
Short. The information is
Short
short.
information. Yes.
Okay. And you say it's an advantage that it is daily, right?
Yes.
So daily news, it's an advantage, and short information. Okay. Internet news sites like, well, do you read internet news sites?
Yes. All the time.
For example, what websites?
Google News.
Google News. Okay. And what's an advantage of reading internet news sites?
You can find information on all the type, all the topics, all kind of topics.
Okay, all kinds of topics.
I think that is the advantage for internet sites and
Uh-huh.
newspaper is like internet news site is faster.
Yes.
It's
Another
faster. What do you mean faster? The news are more recent, or what do you mean by faster?
faster, like comparate a newspaper.
Ah, aha. So their news are more recent. Or they're breaking news. Breaking news, just as
Yes,
they happen.
yes, because maybe the paper. I think that the disadvantage for a newspaper is the information is can be yesterday or
Uh huh.
maybe
Yes.
another
Or
day.
the other year.
Yes. And the internet is recently.
More recent. Okay.
Yes. The advantage for the internet sites is like it can be failed or false. The information not always is the true.
Ah, it can be false, so that will be a disadvantage.
Yes. For me, the disadvantage is that.
Uh huh. And TV or radio newscasts.
Uh, some advantage. You
Mm-hmm.
can see the information in your home. You can watch
Uh huh.
in your home.
Okay.
Disadvantage. You can't found a true information. Sometimes the news. Uh, how can I say? Esconder.
Hide.
Hide. Sometimes the news hide the true information.
Oh, okay. So what the information that we get through TV that isn't the truth.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the you guys said that with a newspaper the news are 1 day old, and with the internet news sites they're very very recent. But with
Yes.
TV or radio newscasts, are they recent? Are they old? Are
Are they recent?
they recent?
Yes.
Which one is the most recent way to get news?
Uh,
I think the internet,
You think
the
so?
website.
no,
I would.
I think the most recent is the TV or radio newscast.
Yeah, they have breaking. They have live news.
Yes.
Yeah, their news are live. Just as they happen, they can be recording the as it happens. An explosion and a natural disaster, an election. Well, that is live.
Mhm.
And for the last one, guys, word of mouth. Are there advantages to that?
You can find
Users?
content graphic
Uh huh.
and text.
With word of mouth? Word of mouth, it's when you tell
Word of
someone.
mouth. It's
Yeah, word
like
of mouth.
when you speak with other person and that other person speak with other person.
Uh huh. Are there advantages to that?
Uh, it's quickly.
It spreads quickly.
Oh no, it's slow.
Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
It's an disadvantage.
Okay, spreads slowly. So
And
what would be an advantage?
mm, I don't know. I think not have advantage.
No? Who do you trust? Who do you trust most? A newspaper, an internet news sites, the TV, or
Internet,
something your friend
internet.
or you trust more internet than your friends and family?
Yes,
Could be your family or your friend. It's a liar or other liar speaks with
But
he.
and in, the news sites in the internet and TV, they're not liars. They're not lying.
yes.
Sometimes
The
they
majority
So,
of
they
times,
are amarillistas.
uh
How can I
huh.
say amarillistas?
They are. I just forgot. That's my homework. I'll remember the phrase.
Okay,
So there's no advantages for word of mouth.
I think now.
Well,
in
for
truth,
me
I don't know
personally,
what's the meaning of word of mouth, because
word of
for
mouth
me,
it's when you spread the news person to person. You talk to your neighbor, you talk to your coworker, you talk to
okay,
your
okay,
friends, and you spread the news that way. Do you know what happened then? And then
okay.
you're.
I think that don't have advantage because the majority of the time is
It's
is
trash.
only, how do you say that word, when the neighbor always only speak, and sometimes
A
They
the
liar,
gossip.
major, what,
Gossip.
gossip, yes,
gossip. Oh
the
yeah,
major the major of the time are gossip, they are gossip.
Most of the time they gossip. Okay. Well, we're supposed to do that on the platform too, so with a little more thought. Let me share that in the WhatsApp group. And let's move on. So we still have 1 hour left, guys. Let's see. This is getting stuck. Give it a few seconds. I guess the app just got stuck, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna launch it again. The app is.
Mhm.
Can you see the digital book now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So we can start with the first lesson. I don't think I can open the grammar coach, guys. Let me try it again. I just tried it and it wasn't working. Guess how I'm going to relaunch the browser. If it doesn't work, then I'll upload the video to the platform so you can watch it afterwards. Because apparently this isn't working here. Oh, maybe it's working now. There's the video. Grammar Coach, Unit 5, right? Lesson 1.
Yes.
So let's watch it.
Hello. Today's lesson is on indirect speech and imperatives. My mother sent me an email yesterday. I'm going on vacation soon and she travels a lot, so she always gives me advice. In her email, she told me to pack light. She said not to check any bags. And she asked me to call her tomorrow. All those sentences are examples of indirect speech, which is sometimes called reported speech. We use indirect speech to report what someone said or wrote without quoting the exact words. In indirect or reported speech, we use a reporting verb, like tell, say, or ask, and a direct object. We use direct speech to show what someone said or wrote. We put their words in quotation marks. For example, my mother told me, pack light. When we change direct speech to indirect speech, we don't use quotation marks. An imperative in direct speech becomes an infinitive in indirect speech. When the imperative is negative, we put the word not before the infinitive. For example, my mother said, don't check any bags. When we change this to indirect speech, she said not to check any bags, the words don't check change to not to check. When I called my mother, I said, don't worry. When we change this to indirect speech, I said not to worry. The words don't worry change to not to worry. We also change time expressions and pronouns in indirect speech if needed. For example, in her email, my mother said, call me tomorrow. When we change this to indirect speech, me changes to her, and tomorrow changes to the next day.
Okay, guys, so let's go back to the digital book. The goal for this lesson is to convey a message. So we will be using indirect speech or reported speech, and we'll start with the imperatives. It's just the formula we just watched in the video. It gets more complicated, but with imperatives, it's not that hard. Just remember what the video said. The imperative becomes an infinitive. That's the gist of it. Do you want to start reading, Fernando, the first part of the grammar section?
Okay. Indirect speech imperatives. To report what someone said without quoting the exact words, use indirect speech. Don't use quotation marks when you write indirect speech.
The examples, Victor?
Directive speech. Peter say, "Be careful if you go to out during the storm." The storm. Indirective speech. Peter say, "To be careful if you go to out during the storm."
Mm-hmm. So in this exercise, we are learning the imperative. So be careful if you go out during the storm. That's an imperative. That's a suggestion or like an order. That's something you should do. And in the indirect speech, this be careful turns into an infinitive. Peter said to be careful. That's all there is to it, guys. Next
So,
part, yeah.
for example, the direct speech it's when the person talk with you direct, and the indirect speech it's with the person don't talk with you direct.
No, no. Indirect speech is when you are reporting what someone else said. Yeah, there are two ways to do it. If you want to use word for word, if you want to report or to say what someone else said word for word, we use quotation marks. Here you can
Okay.
imagine an actor, or you can pretend that you are Peter. When you say Peter said, and then you become Peter. Be careful if you go out during the storm. That's exactly what Peter said, word for word. That's a quotation. But if you're telling someone who hasn't seen Peter, who hasn't heard him say those words, you want to tell him what Peter said, you change it. Peter said to be careful if you go out during the storm. But that isn't word for word what Peter said. But it is the meaning. It is the exact same meaning. You are
Okay.
just it is reporting what someone said without quoting the exact words. But
Okay.
you're still quoting what he said. Next
Okay,
part,
teacher.
Victor, an imperative.
An imperative in directive speech become an infinitive in directive speech. They say, "Read the weather report." They say, "To read the weather report." She said, "Don't go out without a full tank of gas." She said, "Not to go out with a full tank of gas.
Is that clear, guys? How we make
Yes.
that change?
Yes, yes.
With the tag questions, you struggled a bit, Fernando, with the auxiliary verbs. Here, please pay attention so you don't get confused again by that. In the tag questions, if you say something like uh, mm, you don't like pizza, the tag question would be do you? Yeah, but here we get rid of the auxiliary verb. We don't say do. She says not to go out. We get rid of the auxiliary verb. And
Okay.
then the next part, Fernando, would you read it?
Change the pronouns in indirect speech as necessary for logic. Martin said, "Tell me as soon as you know." Martin told me to tell him as soon as I know. She told me, "Please call me when you get home." She asked me to call her when I get home.
Aha. So here is the adjustments, the changes that we have to make when we change from indirect speech when we change from direct speech to indirect speech to maintain the logic. Because yeah, the pronouns and uh, the time adverbs, or what are they called? Yeah, the time adverbs. They change a bit. Here, if you are quoting Martin, Martin is saying, "Tell me as soon as you know." But if you are reporting with the verb tell, what Martin said, Martin told me to tell him, because this is an infinitive. Tell me, so we
Yes.
have to change it. Martin told me to tell him, to tell Martin, as soon as I know. So we have to change it. Martin is saying, you tell me, because he's the one who's saying it. He's Martin. Tell me, Martin, as soon as you, whoever you are, know. But then if you are reporting on it, Martin told me to tell him as soon as I know. In the second one, she told me, please call me, the girl, when you, the other person, get home. So it changes. She asked me instead of, well, the please call me, there's an infinitive. So he's changing it. She asked me to call her, the girl who said please call me when I, the other person, you, get home. So these are some changes that we have to do to maintain the logic, to maintain the meaning of the statements. Is that clear, guys? Why we have to make those
So.
changes? So
Yes.
we'll see with the exercises.
Okay.
And here in the blue box, we have that the indirect speech is a kind of a noun clause. It is the direct object of a reporting verb such as say, tell, or ask. Yeah, so this is a noun clause. We covered them in Unit 3, I think, noun clauses. No, in Unit 4, yeah, in the previous unit. So it is just extra information. We'll do some exercises and we'll figure it out. Here we are going to rewrite each statement in indirect speech. The example is Martha told me, and then there's a quotation. This is exactly what Martha said. Be home before the snowstorm. And here is with indirect speech. Martha told me to be home because this is an imperative.
Teacher,
Be home.
could you the zoom back?
Zoom out.
Yes.
Okay. On the grammar.
Yes. It's because only I see the zoom in very big.
And now?
No, it's the same.
And how do you want the zoom?
I see your screen, but very in front. Ah, it's very big.
The zoom is very big.
Yes.
Can you take a screenshot
Yes.
and share it in the WhatsApp group?
Oh, but that problem is because if your laptop, tablet, or cell phone have how you say zoom in the screen,
Uh-huh.
so you need to short the screen with
Oh, okay. I
finger.
found. Yes, yes, yes. I found. I found that.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So let's do the exercises. Oh yeah. In the example, we changed the imperative be home to told me to be home before the snowstorm. So let's do this one, guys, and then we'll do the next part.
Okay.
We'll split it. We'll start with Victor. You can write it in the chat or in the WhatsApp group. or here on screen with the zoom tools.
Yes.
And that'll be on the platform too for your classmates.
I can sleep tonight, staring out the window. A bright light city light up, no woman if she don't cry. Where she going now? Never known if it ends why. Simple reveries over memories. You and me never meant to be. I better let it be, let's let it be. Close your eyes with the river running by. Is it any wonder? No sleep for the wicked up, and no sleep, no sleep. No sleep, no sleep for the wicked up, and no sleep, no sleep. No sleep, no sleep for the wicked up, and no sleep, no sleep. No sleep, no sleep for the wicked up, and no sleep, no sleep. I keep on counting sheep, days into nights into weeks, out of sight, out of mind, never mind. I can see play with me or better, we can roll the dice, tell me of the very lies. Maybe say it for another time. I keep running up the same lines. Better let it be, best let it be. Close your eyes with the river on the mind. Is it any wonder?
Ready, guys?
No.
Remember, pay attention to the quotation marks, guys. Well, here there are no quotation marks. So this is Victor's. Everyone is saying to get ready for a big storm. I think that's correct. This is Fernando's. The radio says to get supplies of food and water in case the roads are closed. Just in case. In case. Number 4. They told her not to be home too late this afternoon. That's correct. Number 5 is not yet finished, Fernando. And 6, Carl asked me to call him. His?
Him.
That's a possessive article.
Okay.
So to call him. when I hear the news. And this Maria always. Why do you change the tense, Fernando? Maria always tells them, don't leave your doors open. This should still be in the present. Maria always tells,
Okay.
and then tells who to whom does she say that? To them, right?
Okay. Tells
Maria
us.
always tells them. And then we have to change not is before the infinitive. Not to leave
Okay.
their
Doors.
doors open. Yeah?
Yes.
Is that clear, Victor? Number 5?
Yes.
Okay, for the next exercise,
Okay.
yeah,
Only on a
yeah,
question.
sure.
Always when the first parts on the sentence have words in past, in present, in third person. Always
Hmm.
I want to put the same words. For example, tells, asked, because I changed asked because in the first sentence in direct speech had told, so it's in the past.
Uh-huh. So you see,
Uh,
yeah, you can change for another of the reporting verbs. You can say, ask, or tell. They have the same meaning. So Carl asked me to call him, or Carl told me to call him, or Carl said to call him. They're a bit different, but they all have the same meaning. Here you change the tell to tell for to ask, but it's correct. It's just that if here it's in the simple past, the other one has to be in the simple past.
okay.
Hmm.
Maria always tells them is a third person,
Yeah,
so is in present with third person.
yeah,
Tell. Okay, that is good.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, for the next part of the exercise, here we have a sentence, a statement in indirect speech, and you're going to do the opposite. You're going to say what you think were the speaker's original words. So here for the example, we have he asked them to call him when it starts raining. So probably the original words were please call me when it starts raining. So let's find out what you guys think the original words were. Let me assign the work, guys. Let's get to it, guys. We still have 30 minutes.
I've got. Open your eyes, then you will see. It's just you and me. Only throwing out the key, just living in a dream. It's just you and me. Only listen till you breathe, just living in a dream. It's just you and me. My disaster, you're my only answer. You got me thinking that I could be a master. Pretty baby, you're my heavy ocean. Weigh me down and give me your devotion. Tell me the things that you want. I give you all that I've got. Open your eyes, then you will see. It's just you and me. Only throwing out the key, just living in a dream. It's just you and me. Only listen till you breathe, just living in a dream. It's just you and me. Take me over, take me over. I don't wanna wake up. It's just you and me. Take me over, take me over. I don't wanna wake up. It's just you and me.
Just a quick pointer, guys. Remember that we are working with the imperative. So here we have to call. So we have an imperative here. Please call me. To live. That's gotta be the imperative in the original words. To read, that should be an imperative. To look, to pick up, and not to wait. All those are supposed to be imperatives. This, Fernando, is not an imperative. Can you pick up some food?
Yes, can you change down? It's for the number 5.
Number 5.
Yes. The answer up is the number 5.
Aha.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is a question, Victor. This is a question. That is not an
Yes.
imperative. You have to change it. That the what he said was an order. Was an imperative. This is a question. Can you pick up some food for me on the way home?
Yes, but the instructions say, what do you think the speaker original word were they turned? So for me,
Okay.
I think that they say, can you pick up someone?
Some food.
No, some food, no, some obligation only.
Okay. That's valid. This is correct. Okay, it would be correct. I would say
Okay, yes, another.
yeah, that's another option.
But it sounds more obligation. Hey, you need to pick up.
Well, he's asking please. That's a please. Okay, both are valid. But this one, my parents read the emergency. No, that isn't valid. I would say maybe with please or just read.
Okay. Read the emergency instruction. Yes.
And you, Fernando, how are you doing?
It's difficult.
Not that
Fernando,
difficult. So we have to leave. You have to start the quotation with that verb. Here I
I
would
think
say,
that
uh-huh, don't what? Yeah, don't wait until the snow gets heavy. Yeah, that works. Uh-huh. And for number 4, Fernando?
can be Alison Luke for
Uh-huh.
the story.
Yeah, look, just a preposition for the story. Look for the story about me. Yeah, he made the change. The person who told Allison, Ray, she told him to look for the story about him, about Ray. So he said, look for the story about me in the paper on Tuesday. Yeah, that's
Can I
correct.
can I put the name in
Instead
the
of me?
yes? For example, Alison, Alison, look the story about me.
Yeah, because you're Ray. You
Yes,
are Ray. So if you put the name Ray, you Ray saying, look for the story about Ray in the paper. That's not you would be talking in the third person about yourself. Here the correct subject pronoun is me. This is what
because
Ray says to Allison.
okay.
Hmm. Questions, guys?
Only I don't understand the second.
Number 2?
Yes, could be the newspaper where leave a win. No, the newspaper say to leave a window or don't leave a window or door open.
Why don't leave a window?
Uh, because there's going to be a severe storm.
Yeah, but
Why do you leave a open window and door?
I think that you need to look that sentence if you are reading in the paper. So in the paper, going to say, leave at the window. No, don't leave.
Don't
yeah,
leave.
but the question, yeah, that Fernando has is, why would you leave a window or door open if there's going to be a severe storm?
Yes.
I don't know. We could research that. It's probably if somebody wants to get in the house, you should leave a window open so someone can get in the house, or a door open. Or if someone needs to go out quickly, remember in America there's this tornadoes, and they actually block the windows and doors with plank of woods. They nail them to the door and they nail them to the windows. So if you have to go out quickly, you would be stuck in there if you close everything. So
Okay.
the tip is you should leave one window or one door open in case you have to go out quickly from your shelter.
Okay. Okay.
That's my idea. But grammatically, I think this is correct. To leave, that's an imperative. So the newspaper reads, when you read the article, leave a window or door
Door
open.
open.
That's it.
Maybe the
Okay.
newspaper want to say not to close or windows or door open. Maybe.
No, to leave,
Mhm.
not you should leave
Even
one open, Victor, because if you close everything up and you have to go out quickly, you would be stuck in your shelter, in your home. You close them, you don't close them with your locks. When there's a tornado or a severe storm, you actually block them with plank of woods. You nail them. Let me see if I can show you a photo, guys. Maybe that'll help you understand that.
because if you are too close or window or door, they can be broken and they can damage you.
Yeah, but here, let me see. These are spots, but I want to show you. There's gotta be. This is how they block it. There's a window, and they have this plank of woods, and they actually
Yeah.
put it. They cover the window with the woods.
Okay.
This, you protect your windows like this. Let me see if there's better photos, or like this man here. But if you cover all of them, you get stuck. You have to leave one open, so you can go out quickly.
Yes. Okay.
Is that clear, Victor? Why you should leave one
Yes,
open? You can't close them all. That's dangerous. If you close all of them, that's too dangerous.
yes, you need to one exit.
You have to, yeah, yes, you need one exit. You need to have one exit. So that's the reason, guys. Okay, let me see. We still have 15 minutes left. I guess we'll do the conversation model and then the pronunciation. These exercises, I don't think we have time to go over them today. You can do them at home. Let's cover the conversation model, guys.
Okay.
Read and listen to someone conveying a message.
I'm on the phone with your parents. Would you like to say hello?
I would, but I'm running late.
Anything you'd like me to tell them?
Yes, please tell them to turn on the TV. There's a storm on the way.
Will do.
Questions, guys, regarding the conversation model?
No, it's okay.
Okay,
No,
so let's listen again and repeat.
Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
I'm on the phone with your parents.
I'm on the phone with your parents.
Would you like to say hello?
Would
Would you like to say hello?
let's say hello.
I would, but I'm running late.
I
I
would,
would,
but
but
I'm
I'm
running
I
late.
would, but I'm running late.
Anything you'd like me to tell them?
Anything you'd
Anything
like
you'd like
me
me
to
to
tell
tell
them?
them?
Like to them.
Yes, please tell them to turn on the TV. There's a storm on the way.
Yes.
Yes, please
Please tell them to
Yes,
tell
turn
them
on
please
to
the
tell
turn
them
TV.
off the
to turn
TV. There's a
TV.
There's
storm
a
on the
storm
way.
on
There's
the
a storm
way.
away.
Will do.
Will do.
Will
Okay,
do.
so this conversation model is to convey a message. You call someone and you leave a message for them. You would like anything you would like me to tell them, and then well, this is the direct speech. Yes, please tell them to turn on the TV. So imagine you are A is let me see. A is Maria and B is Ivan. So Ivan tells Maria, tell them, Ivan's parents, to turn on the TV. So when Maria sees Ivan's parents, what does she say? Maria says something like, your son Ivan called. What else? He said. He said what?
Uh, he say hello.
He said I
No,
would, but I'm running late. He didn't. He didn't say hello. What did he say?
I am running late. Please turn on.
This is what he said.
He said that
What's the imperative? What's the imperative word here?
to turn.
Aha. Well,
He's,
here.
he said that turn on the TV.
Aha. So this changes. He said it becomes an imperative. He said to turn on the TV. There's a storm on the way. And this is indirect speech. He said to turn on the TV.
Okay.
We will
Maria,
practice that. But it is very common to use indirect speech. Whenever we are telling someone what somebody else said, we can use indirect speech. In English, is very 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 common.
and Spanish too.
Yeah, of course, in Spanish too. Let me see. This is getting stuck again. Okay, convey a message. This can be an exercise on the platform. We can personalize it. We have different excuses. Here we have, well, I would, but I'm running late. Another excuse could be I have an appointment, I don't have time, or you can think of something different. And here are possible messages. Tell them to watch the news, to read the newspaper, to call Aunt Mary, to check the weather online. Give them a message.
Teacher, the new activities you upload in Edmodo or in Classroom?
In Edmodo, just the quizzes. Everything else would be in classroom.
Okay.
Everything else. So let's watch the conversation, the possible conversations that we can have using this conversation model.
Let's change the conversation model.
I'm on the phone with your sister. Would you like to say hello?
I would, but I don't have time.
Anything you'd like me to tell her?
Yes. Please tell her to call me at the office.
Okay.
Now let's change the conversation model again. Don't stop. Continue the conversation. Say as much as you can.
I'm on the phone with Ed and Claire. Would you like to say hello?
I would, but I'm late for a doctor's appointment.
Anything you'd like me to tell them?
Yes. Please tell them to meet me at Mario's for dinner at 7.
Will do.
And what are you doing for dinner?
Nothing, actually.
Well, would you like to join us?
Yes, I would. But could you do me a favor?
Sure.
I won't have my car. Can you come here at 6:30 and give me a ride to the restaurant?
Sure. No problem. See you at 6:30.
Okay, guys. So those are some examples, and afterwards, remember that we can continue the conversation. We can keep talking about other things. To ask for a favor, to call someone later. The idea is to practice our our conversation abilities. So
Okay.
that'll be on the platform. And before we go, wanna play this pronunciation section. There's a different rhythm when we use direct speech and indirect speech. We make different pauses. Mm, with when we are reporting on what someone said, we make a pause. But I want you to watch the video first.
Direct and indirect speech. Rhythm. In direct speech, we quote the exact words a person said. For example, my neighbor said, turn on the news. In indirect speech, we report what a person said, but we don't give the person's exact words. For example, my neighbor said to turn on the news. Listen to the different rhythm of these sentences. My neighbor said, turn on the news. My neighbor said to turn on the news. In direct speech, we pause before we quote someone's exact words. Listen again. My neighbor said, turn on the news. In indirect speech, we do not pause before reporting what the person said. Indirect speech uses the same rhythm and intonation as an ordinary statement. Listen again. My neighbor said to turn on the news. When there's a negative imperative in indirect speech, we usually stress the word not. Listen. They told us not to drive our cars. Listen to the different rhythm in these pairs of examples of direct and indirect speech. The police said, stay off the roads. The police said to stay off the roads. They told us, close all the doors and windows. They told us to close all the doors and windows. Everyone is saying, don't go out tonight. Everyone is saying not to go out tonight. They're telling us, get lots of bottled water. They're telling us to get lots of bottled water. I said, buy some extra batteries. I said to buy some extra batteries. Now listen and repeat. Click on pause after each sentence. The police said, stay off the roads.
The police said, stay off the roads.
The police said to stay off the roads.
The police said to stay off the roads.
They told us, close all the doors and windows.
They told us, close all the doors and windows.
They told us to close all the doors and windows.
They told us to close all the doors and windows. Without a pause.
Everyone is saying, don't go out tonight.
Everyone is saying, don't go out tonight.
Everyone is saying not to go out tonight.
Everyone is saying not to go out tonight.
Not to go out tonight.
Not to go out tonight.
We have to emphasize the word not. Not
Okay.
to go out tonight.
They're telling us, get lots of bottled water.
They're telling us get lots of bottled water.
They're telling us to get lots of bottled water.
They are telling us to get lots of bottled water.
I said, buy some extra batteries.
I said, buy some extra batteries.
I said to buy some extra batteries.
I said to buy some extra batteries.
Okay, that's it, guys. So here we will notice the rhythm and the sentences in during their speech, and The same thing we just did, but just shorter. Just two more exercises.
Okay.
Read and listen.
He said, be home before midnight. He said to be home before midnight.
I told your parents, get a flu shot at the clinic. I told your parents to get a flu shot at the clinic.
Now listen again and repeat.
He said, be home before midnight.
He said, be
He's
home
home
before
before
midnight.
midnight.
He said to be home before midnight.
He said
He
to
said
be
to be
home
home
before
before
midnight.
midnight.
I told your parents, get a flu shot at the clinic.
I
I
told
told
your
your
parents,
parents,
get
get
a
a
flu
flu
shot
shot at the clinic.
I told your parents to get a flu shot at the clinic.
I
I
told your
told your
parents to
parents
get a
to
flu
get a
shot.
flu shot at the clinic.
Questions, guys?
No,
No,
teacher.
teacher.
Okay. So this won't be on the platform, but I recommend you guys to do this extra exercises to
Okay.
practice direct speech to indirect speech. Yeah, we don't have time to do them.
Okay.
So, well, if you can do them, perfect. Tomorrow we'll continue with the next lesson, lesson 2.
Okay, teacher. See you
Okay,
tomorrow.
See you then. Have a nice evening, guys.
You
You
too.
too. Bye.